Good evening, everybody. We are back after a bit of a break. Sorry I had a bit of an abrupt exit from my regular streaming schedule. I definitely want to keep consistent for you guys, but there was the opportunity to do the SFU CLAN, and it was one that I wanted to take, so sorry for leaving there. I hope you guys got to see the Twitter messages, but we'll be back, and I will try and take any other interruptions. I'll try to take those in, how do I put this? Any kind of interruptions, I will try and broadcast a little bit better. So tonight we're going to start with FTL. It'd be nice to do a little bit of Crusader Kings as well, but I think it's nice to sort of change things up a little bit. Sorry I'm not 100% here, just because I sort of need to get back into the swing of things for starting up a regular stream. Probably just going to hang out in the main menu for a little bit. And not a whole lot to talk about in terms of plans. I do want to cover a little bit of the SFU CLAN. I really enjoyed doing it. I was very grateful that they gave me a chance to cast. Unfortunately, what's normally supposed to be a pair turned into just a solo cast on my part, and I know a lot of you have sort of been there during during my practice casts, and it hasn't always been, like, the quality is just not quite at the point that I would like it to be. So definitely there's room for improvement. I do think I became a little bit better as a caster having done it, and I think it's something that I'd like to put a little bit more... Something I'd like to put a little bit more practice into. I don't know how much of my regular streaming time I will dedicate towards that. But it's fun to do. It's something that I definitely like to do a little bit more of. What else was I going to mention? The schedule, I mean, I haven't had that many opportunities to test it yet. I should double check what I've got listed for a schedule right now. I don't normally go to my channel anymore. I can just use the dashboard since I discovered it. What did I say? Monday, Thursdays, Fridays. Oh, and I'll get rid of the CLAN note. Yes, I mean, that seems manageable. Obviously, school is always going to take precedent over any kind of streaming, but I definitely want to be here as often as I can, as far as... basically just as far as getting a regular stream done, and I'd ideally like to get at least 3 casts in a week, if I can manage it. I'll sort of try and guarantee at least 2, but I figure now that I've written down 3 days, I want to try and stick to that as best as I can. So we covered the CLAN, we covered scheduling. I think that is all that was on my mind. I am still having a couple of troubles with my audio capture file for... or not file, like the program for audio capture inside of on my Mac, basically. So I think I haven't found a good enough alternative for it yet. I've got something that works a little bit better for me, in my opinion, but I am definitely looking for feedback as far as the quality of the audio and whether or not things like whether or not there are things like syncing problems or that. So I think that's it. Kind of wanted to hang out in the main title music just because it's so soothing, but I am going to send a quick message to somebody who might like watching this, and I think we'll do some FTL. This is the first time in a couple of months that I've played this game, so it's probably going to be pretty rough, but we'll get it done. We're still looking for our normal victory on the Kestrel. We've only beaten this game once on easy, so... but I'll just send out a message and we'll be ready to start. Oh, and actually, Clara just went live, so I would not want to discourage you from my own stream, but I did promise to tell somebody when she was going online, so... 2 messages I need to write, and then I'm ready to go. Okay, we're ready to go. Let's see. let's just keep the default names until we get some familiar faces in chat, and then we can start polling people for the names. Oh, hey, Fred5, how's it going? I think I was talking about this a little bit earlier. I apologize for kind of breaking my schedule just shortly after setting it, but there was the opportunity to cast a live Dota 2 tournament at local university, so I wanted to take that opportunity, but unfortunately it meant that I wasn't able to keep to my regular streaming pattern. I'm hoping to do a little Crusader Kings tonight. It depends on how much... Oh, good. Glad to hear things are okay. I hope work wasn't too stressful. I don't know if I will get to Crusader Kings 2 tonight or not. I'd like to, especially given the fact that we are now the King of Scotland, but if it's something that... I mean, if there's enough kind of mileage out of this game and one other one that I wanted to try out, we might save Crusader Kings for maybe the next stream, and that'll just be a dedicated CK2 stream. Alright, you arrive in the system to see a pirate ship pursuing a civilian ship. You detect messages from the civilian ship on distress frequency. Of course we're aiding the civilian ship. Power up your weapons and engage the pirate ship. Actually, I believe you are the first to come online for tonight, so I have 2 questions for you. 1, what do you do for work, if you don't mind me asking? And 2, are you familiar at all with FTL? I gotta turn autofire on. The ideal with a ship like this is that the laser, which will just take down my level 1 shield, and the beam go out of sync. The ideal situation is that I knock down the weapons before that becomes a problem, but as you can see I took a little bit of damage from the tail end of a beam, and it looks like they're getting back in sync. Oh, you only heard question 1, you do nothing fun. You're an escalations manager for a large company. I used to work for a credit card company, and while I was always sort of a frontline agent first, I did actually have to do... Oh, you're only seeing the FTL title screen, that's good to know. Sorry about the trouble, let me just get that corrected. That should be better on this end, sorry about the trouble there. Seems to be a problem that's cropping up a little bit more actually, so... I'm gonna have to look into it. I think I know what's causing it, but I'll get that sorted. Let me know if the problem persists, but that should be taken care of now. But yeah, so I did have to do some escalations calls, and it was kind of it's one of those things that companies tend to do, which is give you a bit of a promise of advancement if you do it. But yeah, I definitely appreciate the nature of a job if it's anything like the credit card one. The second question was actually just if you're familiar at all with FTL. I know it's a pretty popular game. I tend to give commentary in terms of the decisions that I'm making, but I don't have a lot to tell people about FTL because I'm pretty bad at it. But I mean, I always like to justify my reasoning anyway. The ship you saved was badly damaged in the battle. Most of the crew accepts your offer to be dropped off at a nearby station. One offers to join your crew. We've got Maxwell the Rock Man. Welcome aboard. So the plan was to do a little bit of a loop here so I can get to the distress signal. Your scans reveal an ore refinery and several factories, all standing still and empty. No life signs detected. So, waste of fuel. You follow the distress beacon to a tiny asteroid belt. You find a small ship struggling to maneuver through the field. Hail to offer them assistance. They respond, "Help, our shields are down and we won't last long. We can try to shield their ship with mine, or don't risk the ship, leave them to their fate. I believe I always take damage in option 1, but it's fairly early on, and I'm not quite sure what the benefits for this one is, so let's be a hero. Despite your best efforts, the civilian ship breaks apart from the constant barrage. You're barely able to break out from the asteroid field yourself. The ship sustains some damage in the process. It's more damage than I was actually expecting, and 8 scrap for my trouble. A ship with conspicuous pirate markings is orbiting on a nearby moon, broadcasting a simple message claiming to have equipment available for sale. Hail the ship, attack him before he can attack, and quickly prepare and jump. Well, let's hail them. Yes, we have an extensive stock. Come aboard and see our wares. Seems dangerous, let's leave. As soon as you start to reverse your ship, the pirate reveals hidden weaponry that sets off in pursuit. You'll have to fight them to escape. So, the intention behind that one was actually to start a fight. I suspect that they probably do damage to you if you dock with them. So lots of the NG shields here. This one's a little more irritating just because I think if it's a bomb it does damage to me, which I don't like, or if it's an ion cannon then that knocks my shields down. I'm not too worried about this other gun, but in this case here I just, actually I probably shouldn't target piloting. In this case here I just need to knock down the NG shields, so I'll pepper them with the burst laser and we'll see how well it goes. Yeah, so that is an ion cannon, which is going to be a bit of a pain. So I think one of the things that I liked about FTL was I had played roguelikes before, but I'd never quite appreciated them as roguelikes. So I think I finally kind of got to appreciate the genre on its own. Easily one of my favorite soundtracks for a game, which is always a nice feature. I think that tends to be a feature of a lot of games that I enjoy, is that there's really nice music to listen to while you play. But it was kind of one point where I finally got to appreciate the genre just for itself. So I think the original Rogue was supposed to be something along the lines of you going through a progressive number of dungeons. Let's see here. They send you a message. Your ship is surprisingly well equipped. Please take this and let us live. You get 2 fuel, 1 drone part, 8 scrap, and a flat gun. I might be able to do better if I destroy it, but the extra weapon is kind of nice, so I think I'll accept the offer. I don't have the energy for it, but that will come with time. And let's get our guy in the medbay. Yeah, so I think from what I heard, like the original Rogue was supposed to be just a progression of dungeons and sort of the thing that we've come to know and love through pretty much anybody who plays indie games. Sort of progressing through these levels and equipping yourself for just a big final fight, which in the case of the game was a dragon. Now keep in mind, like I'm getting all of this secondhand, so this may not actually be a very good description of the original Rogue. But what kind of interested me here was FTL is definitely in that spirit. You need to get the most you can out of each sector to be able to handle the flagship fight in the end. But I just kind of like that they were able to make this just original enough, that they were able to get enough pieces of sort of sci-fi that people really enjoy, being the captain of your own ship, to make it its own thing. So definitely a roguelike, but something with its own spirit. So I think it's one of the reasons why I keep coming back to this game, even if it doesn't reward me with success. You arrive to find a pulsar dominating the view screen. You see a small silhouette pass in front of the star. Before you can ponder what it is, warning signals go off. It appears to be a ship in a firing trajectory. So there's not a whole lot of sophistication as far as strategy goes right now. This is mostly just going to be a matter of knocking down the shields as quickly as I can, and in this case, because I only have 1 shield, I'll be doing everything that I can to take down the weapons as quickly as possible. The fact that there is an ion blast is also a reason to take down those weapons as quickly as possible. So here, because I know I've got an ion blast, I'm actually going to go straight for the engines, because the last thing I want to do is have them run away and lose out the chance for scrap. So in this case, I cannot believe how well equipped your ship is. Please take this and let us live. I'm not convinced with that offer. So will not accept surrender. And because the engines are out, they're sitting ducks. We'll be able to finish them off. So we'll see what... This is actually the first ship that we will have destroyed. So yeah, 14 scrap. So in this case, I think for the flat cannon, the previous deal was good, but in this case it was the right call to take them out. So we'll wait for the charge. Actually, I think I'll wait till we get our... I think I'll just wait till the ion wears off in case we have a fight immediately in the next sector. Nope, looks like I don't get the options. You detect a rebel automated ship nearby. It does not engage and seems to be patrolling around the log rage sensor station. I can attack the automated ship to get to the sensor station, or I can avoid provoking the ship. Well, in this case we're just killing everything that we can. No shields on this one, so I basically want to take down the weapons as quickly as I can. And hopefully the laser fires before the iron cannon. I'm not so lucky, but the iron cannon misses, so I'm able to get by. Ah, and Krunkalaka, I see you are hanging out in chat. Welcome. I think the second time you were ever here I was playing FTL, so this is actually... I have not touched FTL since the last time I've seen you. Or since the last time you saw it on this channel. I think the last I saw you was while you were playing Path of Exile, which I had tried, and then I sort of moved over to my Mac for as my primary gaming machine, so I haven't actually had a chance to try it since the beta. Oh, sorry, just one second. This is somebody who I was going to give some information to. Alright, sorry about that. Upon completing your jump, you receive a message from a nearby ship. Greetings and welcome to our beacon. For a small fee, we'll let you continue on your way. I am not giving them 24 scrap. It's, again, two weapons that I do need to pay attention to, but will... too bad you'll regret this decision. I'm almost wondering if charging up the flat cannon's the way to go here. Let's take a look and see how that works out. Hello? Oh, that's one of my guys who's the intruder. So it turns out that is the way to go. That's such a satisfying sound when that goes off too. So now same deal here is that currently the laser... Oh, you put some time into FTL, but not since the Advanced Edition came out, yeah. I mean, I'm still waiting on my... I've done a early... I've done an easy mode flagship victory, but I haven't been able to beat it on normal. And I think that's just because I spend a little bit of time relearning the game each time I play it, so... This run's going okay, except that there's a lot of hull damage, which has been kind of unnecessary. In this case, I won't accept the offer, just because I know I'll get more from destroying them. And as far as my own, again, my strategy, I can't really say a whole lot. Oh, and looks like, actually, I don't think I've ever seen you as a Turbo subscriber before. So, was that part of a Humble Bundle, or have you decided to further support the stream that hosts your content? Had most of the stuff unlocked on normal, but you reset your profile and have it all unlocked on hard. You definitely have done a lot more than I have then. Do I want to go... Probably can't do 3, so... I think I'll just go to the store now and fight my way to the exit. There's only one other ship at this beacon and it is showing heavy damage. You receive a message on your console. Greetings, traveler. We were crippled by a band of pirates and are now forced to sell our remaining valuable equipment to acquire the necessary supplies to get home. I'm not crazy about any of this stuff, to be honest. Okay, it could have been that I just wasn't paying attention as well. I really don't want to spend a lot of scrap on repairing, but I'll at least get myself to the green and maybe wait for something better. So I think I can afford to do 1, 2, 3, possibly more. You stumble across a forward scout of the rebel fleet. Continue. They're powering up their FTL. If they get away, they will no doubt warn the fleet of your position. So in this case here, as much... I mean, this is kind of Sophie's choice here, because I still only have my level 1 shield, which I guess technically I could have been spending the scrap on there. I still only have my level 1 shield, which means that the combination of laser and beam weapon is actually pretty troublesome, but I do need to take out the engine, otherwise it basically damages me, it damages my economy most of all. So I think I just accept a bit of the damage. I also got a bit lucky as far as the, it was a synced start, so I should have a couple of rounds where I don't get hit by that. And looks like my, I don't know if it's my captain or my engine guy who's making this better for me, but I'm really happy that they are. Oh, that thing looks like it's repairing pretty quick, so I think I just need to hope for the best and keep that engine down. I think I'll at least try going to weapons each time, but as soon as that goes orange, I need to knock it out. And that thing, it displays jump imminent really quick. Jesus Christ! I didn't even have a chance to fire. Oh well. Oh, this sucks. Okay, well, I'm going to have to fight them no matter what. So I might as well make the most of it. Because of the war, thousands of colonists have had their supply lines disrupted and have found themselves in dire straits. It seems in this system the rebels are sympathetic and are distributing what little supplies they can spare. I can attack the rebels, I can wait to steal the supplies from the civilians, or I can leave them be. I'm a coward, I'll just wait to steal them from the civilians. Colonists willingly give up their supplies, but as you try to make the jump away, an explosion rocks your ship. The cargo was booby-trapped. I guess that's what I get for being a bastard. Alright, well, let's get ready for a fight. You found the exit beacon, but the rebels got here first. You must survive long enough to be able to jump to the next sector. I forgot to turn my medbay back on. It's fine, we'll just use the... Actually, I haven't been paying attention at all because I could have had my medbay up the entire time. Doesn't do a whole lot as far as hull damage, does it? Well, it sure does damage to me. Alright, I think we just wait on the FTL drive. I don't want to rush you, Johnson, but we are going to die if you don't get these weapons up. Okay. Caldwell. Yeah. Well, I'm boned. Sister, you thought you'd given up on me. I'm giving up on this ship, that's for sure. Hi, Endors. I did my best. I wanted to get a tweet out, and I did update the front page, but basically I had an opportunity to cast a Dota 2 tournament. Yeah, that was a disaster. Oh well, this is pretty much FTL for me in a nutshell. It's fun, I like watching myself fail, to be completely honest. But yeah, so I had an opportunity to cast a live event for Dota 2. I covered it a little bit in the beginning there, but I think I definitely have the same rooms for improvement. I think I did start doing a little bit better after I had a couple of casts live under my belt. Nick was supposed to be alongside me, but unfortunately he was double booked. He was taking part in the Global Game Jam, so I had to basically do the entire day on my own. I've gotten a lot better on my camera work, and I think it's something I'd like to continue doing, but I sort of have the opinion that I think everybody thinks they can do analysis in Dota 2. But, I mean, how many times have you watched like a football game or a hockey game or something like that, and said, oh yeah, you know, the analysis, that was why I kept watching. No, I mean, you want to hear the guy getting really excited and doing those kinds of plays, and I know, you know, my vocal qualities tend not to be... What a peasant, yeah. My vocal qualities just really aren't the type that, you know, lend themselves to those hypey casts. I'm debating a little bit on, I don't know if it should be acting lessons or just maybe putting some focus on, you know, putting a little bit more energy into the, at least into the play-by-play. I don't necessarily mind reading things out in my normal speaking voice, you know, on a normal game. But the thing is that, you know, there's, you know, throw a rock and you have somebody who thinks that they can talk about Dota 2 strategy. I like to think that I can bring something of myself into that, but in the end, like, there's going to be a bunch of analysts. It's a fairly saturated market. But somebody who can get people excited about a game is fairly rare, and I think that's a skill that I would be good to develop if I want to do more of this stuff live. Anyways, the Kestrel Mark II. The data you carry is vital to the remaining Federation fleet. You'll need supplies for the journey, so be sure to explore each sector before moving on to the next. But get to the exit before the pursuing Rebel fleet can catch up, otherwise you will see what happened. Tip: grinding sectors. It can be beneficial to stay in a sector for as long as possible to improve the ship, since each sector is increasingly difficult. I hope the game-to-voice volume is okay on this one, because I get to enjoy the fine sounds of Ben Prunty in the background, but if it's too quiet, just let me know and I'll be able to turn the game up a bit. It's not a whole lot that kind of overlaps on me. Right, you detect a rebel scout on an attack approach to a small refueling outpost. Their weapons are charged, but they're not firing yet. Intervene and defend the outpost. A rebel responds to your threat. I don't know who you are, but no one defies the rebel fleet. They move in to engage. So same deal here. I mean, the flak cannon is going to rip apart my shield, so that's sort of the first priority to take out. I'm not too worried about the hull laser. Obviously, I'm worried about it when my shields are down. But it's the combination of the two that sort of spooks me. I keep forgetting to turn on auto fire. Yeah, so something like a hull laser on its own isn't something I'm too concerned about, but usually you see that in combination with something like a beam or just any of those other weapons that make me very sad. Hence why I probably over-prioritize weapons, if I'm completely honest with myself. But as I learned on the Kestrel, apparently you can't just stop a ship from FTLing out with a burst laser alone. I think if I could do it all over again, I probably should have just ate a missile, because I tend not to use missiles a whole lot in this game anyway. I guess I don't like using finite resources for whatever reason. I want to fire my weapons guy for missing that hit. Ship breaks apart and you quickly salvage what you can. Fairly decent haul. The outpost hails you. The pompous bastards expected free service just because they defeated the Federation. Take this for the help. 2 fuel, 13 scrap. So, slightly more promising start than the last one, let us say. Missile shoots across your bow when the jump completes. Your scans quickly reveal a ship with pirate markings pursuing an unknown vessel. The pirate hails you. Damn it, we weren't expecting company. Stay out of this and you could profit. So I can get 1 fuel, 1 drone, and 10 scrap. Or I could try to be a hero and attack the pirate. It's just 2 hull lasers, so screw 'em. Pirate ship stops its pursuit and locks weapons onto your ship. So again, the challenge on this one is the hull laser is actually going to hurt when it hits me. It looks like they're in perfect sync, so... Oh, but they missed. So in this case, I'm basically in the clear. I think I just want to keep pounding on that at least one more round, and then I'll go back to taking on the engines. Fine, our previous offer was not generous love. Let's improve it. Now, I think this is a worse offer. So, reject and kick ass. Okay, so I get 9 scrap for my trouble. I should have taken the deal. Upon closer inspection, you realize the ship under attack was a rebel scout. It's too damaged to put up much of a fight. I can destroy the ship and salvage it, or I can use leverage gain by saving their lives to convince them to delay the pursuing fate. Well, I'm not too worried about the pursuit, so I'll destroy it and salvage it. You strip the ship of anything useful and leave its crew to hope help arrives. So 1 missile, 1 drone, 7 scrap. So overall, it probably would have been better to take the bribe, but there's no way I could have known what that outcome would be. So I think I'll skip the store for now. I might head back to it. But I think for 55 scrap, there's not a whole lot I can get. The nearby planet shows signs of habitation and great beauty. A rudimentary automated planetary defense system is looping its message into space. Warning! Quarantine level 5 in effect under FHA Act 22, Article 11.2. Warning! Quarantine level 5. So let's see. Store just kind of... Well, okay, this is actually interesting. So I'll be able to go to the distress signal and then back to the store if I want to. Again, I don't really think I'm going to have enough scrap to make anything of that, but let's take a look. It appears the distress beacon is coming from the surface of a nearby moon. Your sensors are picking up a single life form. Let's go down to the surface to investigate. You find a man living alone in a cave. From the appearance of his wrecked ship, it seems that he's been here for many years. Probably the crew from the last journey. He looks healthy, but his mental state is questionable. I can bring him back to the ship in hopes of finding some help for him, or leave the madman to his raving. It's not worth the risk. Now, every time I pick this, he winds up blowing up my ship. But I've got a lot of health. Being back in space terrifies him. He has gone mad and nearly blows a hole in the side of the ship with a makeshift explosive in an attempt to escape from this metal prison. He dies in the explosion. 5 damage to the hull. Well, at least it's consistent. Will you twice? Yeah. I think I'm gonna skip the store, to be honest. Because it basically just means I'm going to lose a fuel, and I can just go to other stuff in the sector. You are immediately hailed by a mobile docking platform upon arrival. Welcome to Uncle Joe's Fix-It Shop. Need a tune-up? We got you covered. Inquire about their specialty. They offer to upgrade the door subsystem in exchange for some scrap. I'm not crazy about the doors, but for 11 scrap, I'm happy with that. Oh, another store, just what I wanted. I think I'll just go directly into the nebula because that'll slow them down. A Federation encrypted signal is being broadcast from a nearby planet. Send an away party to investigate, or it could be a trap. Move on. Well, the random events have always worked so well for me in the past. You find a small cache of supplies that were surely left for any loyal Federation ships in trouble. You take all that you need, leaving some for others to find. 3 fuel, 1 drone, and 22 scrap. So I guess I can't complain about the random events anymore. You cross paths with an advanced scout of the rebel fleet searching this section of the nebula for your ship. So the ion beam, or the ion attack is a bit of a concern given the beam, but as long as I can disable the weapon, I'm not going to disable them in time. Crap. Well, I guess that could have been worse. There's really nothing else to do. Automated scouts aren't going to go back to warn the fleet, so I think I'll just take Caldwell and heal him up. I noticed there's another viewer who stopped by. Lotus, if that's you, I don't think you have a Twitch account, but hello if that is you. And if it's not Lotus, I'll pretend you are. You see a number of derelict ships near this station. After a short time, you hear the telltale sounds of a teleporter and shots coming from within your ship. You've been boarded. Well, there's an easy way to deal with intruders, especially with level 2 doors. Oxygen is a privilege, not a right. I guess I should have let them in. I also should have waited until there was actually air in the rest of the ship for everybody to be able to breathe it. So far the nebula is actually not... I mean, the rebel fleet's nowhere near, but hasn't really paid off a lot for me. A mantis ship hails you through the storm. These are sacred Urgnag clan hunting grounds. You are prey. Shields up. And my absolute favorite... Oh wait, that could be a bomb, but I don't know. Looks like it's the ion beam combo to me. And there ain't no party like a mantis party. See if we can take out their transporter. Oh my god, I completely... So I'm not actually suffocating them. There we go, I was wondering why they're able to do damage to the shields. This is why I lose. And normally in this case I would repair shields, but I kind of had everything that I needed to be able to take, to keep the weapons down. So, you don't really need 3 people to repair shields, but it's kind of nice to have... Each of these people are somebody I'd like to have a higher repair skill. I'm going to be taking them all to the med bay anyway, so... Definitely an engagement that I could have handled better, but we survived, which is what matters. So let's see, for shields it'll cost me 50 scrap for the shields, and then another 40, possibly 45. So I think what I'll do is I'll give it one more sector and then I'll upgrade those. Or no, you know what? I should upgrade those right now, because if it turns out to be more, I can always just power down one of the other systems. And looks like that was the right call, because asteroid fields are not fun for shields. Pirate ship was lying in wait inside the asteroid field and immediately moves into attack. Turn and fight. So a possibly shrewd strategy might be to try and go straight for the shields, but I'm going to bank on the asteroids colliding, and then I'll just go again straight for the weapons. It looks like it's paying off so far. I mean, as long as it's only the beam weapon that's up, because I have the 2 layers of excuse me, because I have the 2 layers of shield. You've made your point. We're beaten. Take these and leave us to our shame. I want more than shame, hombre. I didn't even get to fire the last shot. Alright, let's see what I get instead. The ship explodes, leaving behind a substantial collection of useful scrap material. 1 missile, 1 drone, and 16 scrap. Right call. I'm a little curious if asteroids still come at this point, and whether or not I'll get any credit for dodging them. They definitely miss. Yeah, it's probably not worth waiting out for it. So I will... See, this is what screwed me last time. I think I'm just going to go straight for the distress and then the exit. That way I have sort of an escape if things go south. You follow the distress beacon to a tiny asteroid belt. You find a small ship struggling to maneuver through the field. Hail them to offer assistance. Help, our shields are down and we won't last long. So the last time this was just a bunch of damage to me. I will try to shield because I have 2, but I suspect I'm just going to take hull damage again and they're still going to die. Yeah, despite your best efforts, the civilian ship breaks apart from the constant barrage. They are barely able to break out of the asteroid field yourself. Ship sustains some damage in the process, but I get 9 scrap for it. So I think what I'll do is next store I run into, I will I'll use that scrap to heal up. Okay, you come across an asteroid mining colony. They message you immediately saying, "Greetings, our supplies of mining explosives have run out ever since the rebels blockaded the system. Do you have any extra explosives?" I can offer to solve their problem by launching a missile, can give them the requested 5 missiles, or decline. I just really like the idea of shooting missiles at civilians. So. While I appreciate your enthusiasm, we have certain protocols for the use of explosives around the workplace. Launching a military-grade weapon into our mines isn't exactly what I would call union-friendly. So I will give them the requested 5 missiles just because I haven't been using them. Shame I can't give them 15, but... They thank you and offer to have their engineers try to upgrade your reactor. Nice. So I can actually start using those missiles. So I can afford to put a point into the engines. I think it's a little bit better just to sit back and wait though. So we will go to the next sector. Wow. It's a lot of hostiles. So, I mean, level 2 pirate controlled is probably better than going through level 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, I could have hostile sectors for the rest of this run if I really wanted. But yeah, I'm thinking maybe follow top, side, side, down, down. Doesn't really matter where. And then the end is always going to be hostile because it's the end. Alright, pirate controlled sector it is. And this isn't my normal time for a break, but I'm just going to get up and grab a very quick drink of water. I didn't have that at the start, and I am definitely feeling the effects. So just ask a moment of your time while I get something to drink. Alright, thank you for indulging me in that. If the reports are true, this area has been under the control of pirates for quite some time. Some traders still attempt to trade with the few settlements that remain, but they do so at great risk. Okay, I can go straight for a distress... Yeah, why not? You arrive at the distress beacon near a small asteroid belt and find a ship with pirate markings partially crushed between two large rocks. It must have been illegally mining the belt without proper equipment. Try to dislodge the ship by shooting the rocks, or destroy and loot the ship, they're just pirates. I'm tempted to do that, but let's just try and dislodge it. I fire a few volleys into the rock and it starts to shudder and break apart. Without shields, the pirate ship takes a beating, but eventually pulls free. They thank you for your assistance, and I get 17 scrap for my trouble. Among other stuff, but let's face it. The econ student is focused on the currency. Not too far from this beacon, you detect a destroyed cargo ship with its cargo scattered nearby intact. This is a tricky one, actually. I mean, I'm tempted to bring it aboard, but the fact that it says leave it alone, this looks suspicious. I always screw up my runs anyway, so bring it aboard. They appear to be filled with military supplies. You take everything you can use and jettison the rest. Fuel, drone, and 19 scrap. So does that give me my next level of shields? No, I need 100 for the next level of shields. I probably want to take care of my engines first. Actually, this is a good time to look over this. So my usual feeling on engines, if you look, so you spend 15 for the first level, dodge goes, basically dodge increments by 5 until you go from the 40 scrap one. So basically, spend 15 scrap, 30 scrap, 40 scrap, you get up to dodge 25. Once you spend 60 scrap, you only get 3 dodge, and it kind of continues that way until you get to the 120 scrap level where it gives you an additional 4. So what I like to do if I have the scrap to afford it is basically upgrade to, I guess that's engine level 5. Yeah. And then the rest are just kind of luxuries. Now, if I want to be taking on the flagship, I'm also going to need more weapons, and I like to have maxed shields if I can. So in this case here, I don't necessarily gain anything by just spending the scrap right away. I'm going to at least wait for a store and see if there's something that I like. And then I can, as long as I don't, fall apart during one of the sectors, I can always spend that scrap later on things like engines. Once you arrive, your screen lights up with warnings. A nearby pirate ship seems to have advanced hacking tools, and they've tried to shut down your engines. Your crew manages to keep them barely operational, and you move into attack. And looks like they have mind control as well. So definitely need to take out the weapons first. But the problem is I'm probably going to be losing my piloting. Oh, actually, you know what? I need to take out mind control first. Because I have enough to withstand 2 hits from these guys. There'll be shields next. Again, the speed with which they're going to be hitting me, I'll always be able to recover the shield beforehand. I don't think I saw any doors opening for mind control, so now we start... Oop, not weapons. Now engines. Yeah, so if they were working on mind control, they've got other priorities now. And the rest is basically just carving the ship up. They can keep repairing shields all that they want, but I'll be able to take out the rest of the important systems. With the pirate ship destroyed, your ship's system is restored to full functionality. You salvage what you can from the debris. 2 fuel, 12 scrap. So definitely not hurting for scrap this time around, which is good. I think what I want to do here is actually go from the closest to the exit back, and then I can just sort of... Oh, no. There's only one way to that exit. It's pretty vicious of them. Okay, well, I'll see what I can get out of this little trio here, and then there's only one way to the exit, so I need to make sure that I stay on that path. It's a bit of a cruel layout, to be completely honest. Oh well. Ship refueling station is stationed at this beacon. We can purchase fuel here. Now, I think, what is it? It's 2 scrap per fuel, which is a pretty good deal. I'm sitting okay on it, but I'm sort of thinking as far as a long run investment. I actually think the 12 scrap is worth it. Lol, scumbag Endor is distracting me with System Shock while I have to write backstory for characters tomorrow. Is this a... I'm assuming it's a gaming project given the mention of characters. Is this an RPG? Is this a digital game? You can't just tease something like that. Wait, how do you know who you're rolling? Yeah, Alpha 360. Okay, Alpha 360. I'm gonna leave it to you to explain the story behind this and what madness you and Endors are up to. Welcome, by the way. I think I was reading your messages without saying hello. A ship without life forms within a nearby dense asteroid field is giving off the distress call. Shall we investigate? It could be dangerous. Danger is my middle name. Sounds like some D&D. Yeah, I'm assuming it's going to be some pen and paper RPG. But I need to hear it from the man. I think you were asking about tabletop last stream as well. You find the decaying remains of some kind of ship coated with ice or crystal. You send some crew aboard to explore. Nearly everything is either destroyed or unidentifiable, but one of the weapons appears salvageable, and there's a strange stasis pod that catches your eye. Cruton is a poop face. He told me he wasn't going to let me roll until tomorrow. We play a D&D-ish thing that crew made a while ago. Quite fun. Oh, so it's a homemade game. That's cool. Looks like a massive asteroid is on a direct collision course with the derelict ship. You have to pull your crew out before they... but they want to grab what they can first. What do you take? So, I mean, it'd be cool to get the stasis chamber because I know that gives you the possibility of getting the crystal ship. But honestly, the crystal ship is a lower priority to me than getting my first win on normal. So in this case, I'm going to take the weapon and some scrap. I actually tend to run into this event quite a bit, so I'll go for that. Your crew grabs what they can and returns to the ship before the asteroid hits. You take a look at what you've recovered once you move clear of the asteroid field. Not crazy about the firebomb, but 11 scrap always helps. Sort of pays for that fuel that I got. And I feel like I'm setting myself up for another situation like before. I think I'm going to take the crybaby way and just go directly to the exit. Soon after arriving in the system, you are hailed by a small cruiser. What good fortune that we happened to run into each other. Nothing personal, but you have some information that we need. This one I think I'm actually going to fire a missile for, just because I really don't want to get hit by a missile myself, although usually these things charge faster than I can take them out, so I think I'm going to wind up paying one way or the other, but... Yep. Let's see if our dodge is where it needs to be. Nope, you suck! Hold your breath, Johnson. Yeah, I should get him out of there. Didn't quite want to depower the Artemis, but I'm not going to have it targeting anything. And actually, let's hit something slightly more interesting, like engines. I have no idea why I sucked the oxygen out of that room. Probably just to keep my crew on their toes, to be honest. I guess I need to keep these open to let the air in. Actually, on the note of tabletop RPGs, I don't know if this is something that you guys are interested in, but there is another... Oh, looks like it was a good idea to hit the FTL. Enemy ship appears to be powering up its FTL and is trying to escape. Continue. Please don't kill us. We'll give you everything we have. 14 scrap's actually not that bad. Yeah, we'll take the offer. I think I'll play my first good character this time. I've always been chaotic neutral before. Should be fun. Or awful. Morals can be quite a burden. Yeah, I'm sure as you've noticed from my Crusader King streams, I've never wanted morals to get in the way of a good game. Are you capable of that? Let me know how that goes, Endors. But yeah, on the point of tabletop RPGs, there's another Kickstarter for Shadowrun Hong Kong this time. I actually say, on this note, just before I go into this next fight, because it's against his son, and I'm going to want to just take a moment to not have to deal with this as long as I can. I think I really like the way... if you can be a good guy sometime, you need to stay out of Crusader Kings. That'll get you killed. I think I'll be as evil as possible this time to balance things out. Well, I can see you're going to have a wonderful... I guess I'm assuming that it's Cruton who's going to be running this, so it sounds like he's going to be having a fun time with your party. But yeah, on the point of the Shadowrun Kickstarter, I actually really like the way that they are handling it this time, where, you know, there's no shortage of early access games. In fact, for whatever reason, it seems like they want to have a whole bunch of like crafting zombie survival games. Sort of seems to be the genre du jour for for early access titles. And I mean, I own Starbound, right? I think pretty much that is the poster child of, sell people on a really cool sounding concept, fail to deliver, and then just continue to send enthusiastic updates about how you're totally going to finish the game one day. I'm definitely not very happy with the game that has resulted. I don't think they're ever going to finish it, and I'm not entirely sure if I want to play the finished product when it finally comes out. Never heard of Shadowrun as a sequel, or is it its own thing? So Shadowrun originally was a tabletop RPG, one of the few that I played. Space Terraria. I love Terraria. I was so excited for Starbound. I bought it before you could actually play it, and I just think that they sold people on a trailer, and they never actually finished the game. And it's been a long time. I don't know if they've ever given an official release date, but they are really, really late. I mean, I don't really see that significant of a difference from when I mean, my stuff stops vanishing. I suppose that's a change. But, I mean, I just think they should have been either a little bit more upfront with people, or they should have just kept the thing under wraps until it was done. Because FTL didn't need to do early access. FTL just did a Kickstarter. They said, here's our idea for a game. It's almost done. We want some money to make it as good as we can. And the game is great. So yeah, the story of Shadowrun was, the original project was Shadowrun Returns. The guy who created the tabletop RPG got the rights back from FASA, and basically said, there have been a couple of Shadowrun games. Actually, the Genesis one I thought was both great and did a really great job of portraying cyberspace, which is obviously, that's a very cyberpunk theme, right? You kind of need to have that. So I think the Shadowrun Genesis game, I mean, I've obviously only ever played it in an emulator, but I think it did a really, really good job of that. There was apparently a Super Nintendo game as well, but I've never tried it out. But in any case, so they say, it's like, we want to bring Shadowrun back, we want to do something a little more updated, and we'd like some money to do that. So Harebrained Schemes, put on a trailer. Definitely very successful campaign. I think it was like 400% of their budget or something like that. And so a bunch of stretch goals. I think actually the DLC that they created for it was based off of what the Kickstarters had mentioned was the second city that they wanted. I believe it was Berlin. So I think they must have gotten the DLC on their own or something like that. But it was called Dragonfall, and pretty much the consensus is that Shadowrun Dragonfall is head and shoulders better than Shadowrun Returns. And so effectively what they did was they released Dragonfall Director's Cut, which is a standalone game. Sort of the original Shadowrun Returns campaign, Dead Man's Switch, sort of just became subservient to it. Anybody who got the DLC got this Director's Cut for free, so I have the Director's Cut, but I did buy it as DLC originally. And what Harebrained Schemes is doing now is they basically say that because, the series has been so successful, and people obviously want more of this, that they're making another Shadowrun game. And they say, it's like, we have budgeted it, we have the team in place for it, and what we're asking for this Kickstarter is how much extra do you guys want? So they picked Hong Kong because that was the runner-up in terms of the vote for where people wanted to set it. And effectively what they've said is like, we are doing game development the way that you would expect a big developer to do, which is we're putting up the money up front. We've got a product that we have in mind. And they've decided that because they obviously want to make a bigger game than what their budget will allow, is they're going to the community and saying, it's up to you to decide how far we go on this thing. They just added another stretch goal today, so I think like the last stretch goal is 1 million. I'm personally happy they're 5,000 away from the new, from the next one, which is what I'm looking for here, which is kind of changing the cyberspace or the Matrix mechanics. Can I teach you to be evil? I think I could probably do that. What do you want to know? Yeah, I'm talking so enthusiastically about helping a really good Kickstarter, and we can now move on to evil. But yeah, anyways, just long story short, I think in an environment... I'll just wrap up the thought here, and then I'll actually get back to the game. But I don't know, this stuff is relevant. I think it's worth taking a minute to talk about. Maybe I'll actually do Shadowrun on a stream. But yeah, long story short out of this, I think in an environment where there's a lot of early access games which are clearly just taking in a lot of money and then have no incentive to finish the product afterwards, you've got harebrained schemes who have a property that people are falling over themselves to give them money for. And instead what they're doing is they're saying it's like the money that backers give us are just making an even better game than what we have in mind. And I honestly think that is the way that I wish more people would be doing Kickstarters and early access that way. So Endors, while I get ready for my fight, what do you want to know about being evil? I actually maybe need to start getting one of those quote bots, and I know Jesse Quill and Seriously Clara both have a quote bot for specific moments like teaching evil. All of it. I'm quite bad at being evil. I always feel guilty. Start small, even when it's table having then wrap up quickly. Yeah. I think Alpha's pretty much got it on the nose, which is you just start... You start small. You start with, it's like, you know, this is kind of a selfish thing to do. This is probably not something I'd want to do in real life. But I completely forgot that the missile was back online. And then what you do is you start saying, well, that wasn't so bad. I was able to, you know, I was able to get through the X, Y, or Z. Or even better still, what'll happen to you. You better hope this happens to you, because this is make it so easy to become evil. You go into a situation where it's like life or death. You're like, oh, it's either him or me. I didn't have a choice. You want to murder kittens day one. Okay, then what you do is you get yourself into life or death situations. Like, it's the kittens or me, man. And you do it. And then you realize it kind of felt good. Like it was something you weren't allowed to do for your whole life, and you finally let yourself do it. And then you realize that being evil is fun. And then all of a sudden, murdering those kittens the second time around, you don't even need to have the life or death situation. Or the other thing too is you just consider you take the very dry economic view of it, and you consider your, cost-benefit analysis, and, in this case, assassinating the bishop that likes the Pope more than me is, worth so many gold each turn, and that'll be able to allow me to keep the war that suppressed my peasants going. And then you just think very practically about it, like you're an accountant, and then you realize, oh my god, I'm evil. And then you start having fun with it. You detect two ships, one chasing the other. Scanners show the pursuer is a pirate. Of course we're aiding the civilian ship. We're not evil in FTL. Or maybe we are. Consider that in most of the space opera genre, the kind of like it's usually the rebels against the Empire or something like that. The rebels are the good guys. I'm thinking Star Wars and stuff like this. So you're fighting the rebels. The plot twist of FTL is you're actually the bad guy enslaving the rest of the galaxy. You power up your weapons and engage the pirate ship. That's how I prefer to think of FTL anyway. Oh my god, I'm evil! Yeah, that's the other thing too. This is a Jimmy Carr quote when he was talking about some of the NSA stuff that was going on or something like that. Or, well, it wasn't the NSA stuff, but it was basically a British equivalent to it. It was basically saying it's like, you know, I think it was like the Home Office or something like that announced their new plot for their new scheme for catching terrorists or something like that. But essentially, they're looking for all email headers with the title It's kind of a corny joke, but he did a good evil laugh, so I ran with it. Yeah, honestly, I was gonna say the best way for anybody to become evil would just be to play Crusader Kings 2. Even Europa Universalis, despite the fact that you sort of control everything about the country, I don't think quite allows you to be evil on the same level that Crusader Kings 2 does, just simply because in CK2 it's the personal relationships that you're managing. And so, you know... Well, I mean, for crying out, you got to watch me have this, like, 10-year marriage where every morning my wife tried to poison me. Like her friend Baron. He was a pretty nice guy. So nice that he let her friend who was a vampire lord, the last of his kind, and he let the vampire bite him because he was lonely a few attempts in, and then he became a vampire. First thing he did was run to the mayor's house, tear his head off, he had like 68 strength, smashed the wife's head in with his foot, and threw their baby. He later found out the baby was his orphan child from the last character and went crazy, so he had to put him down. But yeah, big changes. Just let me know when you're having the Kickstarter for that game. Alright, this sector has become increasingly dangerous for our friends of the Federation. I think my crew can patch up some of your hull damages, thanks. So, we're looking pretty good on scrap, actually. No stores, although I suppose that's not surprising in a pirate sector. Well, we'll see how we get in the next sector. I mean, overall, this is roughly the health that we had when we started, so... there's a black market hub here. You see, receive a message, these are dangerous times. We have extra military-grade explosives. We'll gladly pay you for them. I think I'll sell as many missiles as I can. So, yeah, 15 missiles for 45 scrap. I like that deal. And let's heal up. Roleplay, man. Just do it, DM. Yeah. I like compulsory evil. Can I be so evil that I force others to be evil? What you need to be... So you need to be cool in your kind of evil. If you look like a badass when you do it, everybody's going to be compelled to be evil beside you. You have arrived in NG space. The fall of the Federation has brought tough times to these robotic life forms, but they're usually willing to help. And we are in a new sector at the top of the hour. So what I think I'm going to do here is take my first break of the evening. I do want to try and make this a proper broadcast for you guys, you know, a full duration. I do have a little bit of homework to do, but nothing... I think I'll be able to get the balance right this time around. I think my plan is for the evening, we will finish off this FTL run, however long it takes, and then we'll probably move into a different game. Any suggestions I'll gladly read in the chat when I come back. But for now, I'm just going to grab myself another drink of water, get up, stretch. I encourage you guys to do the same, and we will see you again in about 3 minutes. Alright, I think that was about 3 minutes. Maybe longer. I really need to remember to start. Oh wait, no, it was like 1 hour and 8 minutes when I first checked, so... Alright. So it looks like Alpha 360 is going to cute Endors, and then cut him. You need to look at this class. It's Beastly, Lich class. Fairy Wizard that turned into a Lich. This is definitely a game I need to see played, I think. Alright, let's see what the NG sector holds. Hey, and we got a store right away. I think let's do a loop. When you ask a nearby station for aid, a friendly programmer gives you the schematics for a drone. And 15 scrap. So Shield Overcharger is definitely a classy item. I would need to get a drone bay though. But I suppose that's why God invented stores. Message arrives. Your scrap, ours. Our weapons for you. You're about to raise the shields when you realize it's just an NG trader looking for a trade. So we've got cloaking, which is pretty attractive. We have Clone Bay, mind control, slaves, crew. Okay. So sell these. I'll hang on to the shield for now, and it's an ion stunner or an ion blast. 5-second stun. 8-second. Honestly, I actually like the ion. The ion blast is a little bit cheaper and I think has a faster fire rate, so let's just go for the hull laser and the ion blast. And I did promise I was going to use that 9 scrap to put it. You interrupted the process of a black dragon trying to become one and took it yourself. I'm assuming that's a lich. I murdered my entire kingdom. Good job. Okay, so I need 3 in weapons. Damn it! Oh wait, no, I've got enough. I just need 1 or 2 more power to... Well, can probably get by with a little bit less, but... Okay, so if I get rid of med... Okay, so I need at least 1 more. Yeah, I'll go for both. So it's very laser-centric, but I think I should be able to get through with this. You were dying, I saved you, and you'll live forever thanks to me as an undead. What a pal. You know, in all those zombie shows too, everybody's like, no, don't chop my head off. I want to come back as a zombie. I'll get to see you guys all again. It'll be cool. How about you take me with you? That's how it normally works, right? You arrive just in time to see an unusually well-armed NG ship destroying a small pirate craft. A teleporter signal is detected. Intruder on deck. A young mantis in a charred uniform has been teleported onto the deck. He begs for sanctuary from the NG and offers to serve in exchange for your protection. The NG have already traced the teleporter signal and are offering a deal in exchange for the prisoner. I could side with the fugitive and fight the NG ship, or I can agree to offer up the mantis in exchange for a bounty. Now, mantis are really good for onboard combat, but I'm not doing a lot of that, and I can just suffocate everybody and keep my guys inside the medbay. So, as cool as it would be to have some more crew, I'm just going to take the bounty. NG captain is delighted, quickly arranges for the transfer of the prisoner. 38 scrap. So I'd say that was a good deal. I should also consider putting some more into my shields, I think. Oh, 2 distress calls. And both get me to where I need to go. We'll go to the closer one. Even my bad guy was a good guy. Ship without life forms within a nearby dense asteroid field is giving off a distress call. Shall we investigate? Could be dangerous. Yeah, of course. Search for the ship. Find the decaying remains of some kind of ship coated with ice or crystal. You send some crew aboard to explore. Nearly everything is either destroyed or unidentifiable, but one of the weapons appears salvageable, and there's a strange stasis pod that catches your eye. So this really wants me to try and get the crystal ship. And that I sat on a couch for like 50 million years pretending to be you. Thanks, pal. Endor's replies, I got your back. So Alpha 360, if you want to learn how to be evil, you say stuff like that when people are angry at you. Alright, so I'm going to make the same decision I did last time. Take the weapon and the spare scrap, because I don't really want to go on the crystal ship mission. Ooh, laser charger. Okay. Your crew grabs what they can, returns to the ship before the asteroid hits. You take a look at what you've recovered once you move clear of the asteroid field. So I believe this thing starts... Oh right, you get to pick when you fire that thing. So it'll cost me... Ooh, it costs a lot to upgrade weapons though. So the hull laser will do 2 shots per charge. I think I'll stay with the hull laser for now, and then maybe I'll switch out the charge laser if I'm feeling like it. Yeah, let's just move on. Oh, Enders, what am I saying? Yeah, you were the one trying to be evil. I don't know why I mixed you two up in there, but see, you're a natural. Just keep with that. Unfortunately, all this evil happened at the end of the campaign. You didn't get to really play as your Lich. Yeah, but see, that's the big thing, is that you do the evil acts when the opportunity arises. You don't necessarily have to play as the mustachio-twisting evil guy. It's even better if people think that you're trying to help them. You arrive in a populated sector. One merchant seems to be mass broadcasting a request for a mercenary ship to aid him. Shall we respond? Yeah, why not? Great, I was worried no one would respond. My usual carrier is days late. I need you to deliver the cargo of drone parts to a small station just a few jumps from here. We can't afford to pay another carrier, but they will surely tip you generously. Why not? It's got 5 drone parts and a quest marker to drop them off. More distress? Sounds like what I need. You arrive at a distress beacon near a small asteroid belt and find a ship with pirate markings partially crushed between 2 large rocks. Must have been illegally mining the belt without proper equipment, and we'll try to dislodge them, and hopefully we will quote-unquote accidentally destroy the ship. You take a few careful shots and expose the mineral patch in the rock that reacts violently with your weapon. A shockwave forces you back as debris pelts off of your hull. When you regain control, there is not much left of the ship. 14 scrap and 2 damage to your hull. Nope, and we don't have oxygen. Alpha just always burnt everything down. I would recommend don't starve in that case, actually. I believe there's a pyromaniac character in that one. I think I'll just try to go... I think maybe that's the way to go. What appeared to be a single damaged ship is in fact 2 ships that have been smashed into each other. There's a flurry of comm signals and damage. It's hard to determine what occurred. The vessels appear to be Engi? They look locked together by the impact and can't free themselves. Attempt to help the ships by prying them apart. To your surprise, one of the Engi vessels attacks. One ship detaches itself, surprisingly still quite whole, and opens fire. It looks like it somehow identified you as hostile. That is one scary beam. Including your druid. So I don't really need to worry so much about defense drones. So 2 anti-combat, and yeah, so I can actually safely ignore the drones. In this case, I just want to focus on the enemy weapons. In this case, I am actually going to use the hull laser to just to pelt down some of the shields. Once the ion cannon's done some of its work, I'll start using the hull laser on the empty rooms. Okay. Oh, that's a little late for that, but basically I'm now going to move the hull laser to the area it'll do the most damage. So the priority in this case was just to try and take down some shields. I guess I can afford to move on to a different target as well. Let's take out engines. Actually, shields might have been a little smarter, but... So mildly concerned the pipe beam was about to fire, but we got through it. With the ship destroyed, the remaining NG ship hails you and frantically explains the situation to you. Apparently, you interrupt the equivalent of a consolidation of the two ships that were using each other's parts to construct a new vessel. The NG were not truly hostile. The targeting computers had not finished adjusting. There's nothing to be done about it now. You leave the remains for the surviving ship. I should feel terrible, but I don't. Stumble across a forward scout of the rebel fleet. They're powering up their FTL. Of course they are. If they get away, they will no doubt warn the fleet of your position. So fire everything. Which sucks because they actually have a missile. So actually, let's take down the Ion will at least take down the shields quickly. I'm just going to let these guys duke it out. I think he's got an early advantage. Hey, Freighter 5. Welcome back. Okay, so I got what I needed out of that. I think we keep pelting the engines. Let's use the burst laser on weapons now. Come on, don't let me down, Caldwell. Well done. I'm not crazy about opening up oxygen when that thing's down, but probably better to deal with the fire sooner than later. 29 scrap, that's great. Okay. Basically, just by opening up the doors, it gives it keeps those from being oxygenless. I think I'll have enough to get these guys. Yeah, the repairs will finish. It's one of those things that on immediately when I started playing the game, but it's just one of those things. I mean, in the end, they just take a little bit of damage. I can always take them back to the med bay. But oh, you know what? Okay, yeah, the quest is a direct link to the exit, so I'll still be able to go through. But yeah, it's just one of those little efficiency things that tends to give you an edge. Like if that was, let's say, something like the flagship fight, I obviously wouldn't have been able to get the same kind of response that I was looking, or like basically having that small sliver of health can mean the difference between an alive or a dead crew member. So it's nice to just turn those into practice, or into regular practice. Anyways, you arrive at the location given to you by the merchant. You are supposed to deliver drone parts to a station here. You find the station, they respond to your hails immediately. It took you long enough, we have practically no use for these now. I refuse to pay full price. Take this and leave the cargo in our holds. We could refuse and keep the drone parts. Don't have a drone bay. Definitely like the 26 scrap. And I mean, I'll have 12 left over if I do decide so. I accept the paltry payment. And I think the right call here is just to go straight to the exit. You arrived at the long-range beacon. When the FTL drive is charged, you can jump to the next sector. An unidentified ship is badly damaged and still being assaulted by a space pirate. The victim begins a distress message until the pirate cuts in and offers to split the bounty if you sit tight. So I have a flat cannon, which is not great. Attack the pirate! So we will ion down their shield. I think in this case I'll just go directly for the kill, and burst laser should take out the... Actually, let's just wait for the hull laser to fire first, and the burst laser will be able to finish off the weapon bay. Well, generally the right idea, but unfortunately the execution was left a little bit to be desired. At least I don't need to worry about the flat cannon again. And I think I've got a leak somewhere. Yep. I think I'll just go for engines for safety. Ion's really not hitting anything. It's a tempting offer, but let's reject and keep going. Actually, the fuel definitely would have been helpful, so I probably just screwed myself there. Yeah, just 26 scrap. Oh well, that's fine, we can buy some more later. Thank you for the aid. I'm an arms dealer that usually only works with the rebels, but considering the circumstances, I'll make an exception. You're making me buy this? I kinda hate to do it, but let's ditch the shield. Well, I guess I don't need the drone control anymore. Buy up the fuel. We'll go to green for health. I think I'm gonna risk it and not buy any of this. Go in on, all in on the shields. Right, to the Zoltan homewards. Oh shoot, I should have put block into the med bay. So I don't know, I'm feeling okay-ish about this run. I think the flagship is going to cause me a lot of problems if I don't get a better weapons lineup. But I like that I've got the level of shields that I have, and I think as long as the next few sectors go reasonably okay, I should be able to expect some... I mean, I think all of the hardware on... like the built-in stuff on the ship will be fine, but the weapon system is kind of a bit of a concern. So your jump interrupts Zoltan security ship as it follows Mantis pirate into the asteroid field. They message you, your presence here will continue to be tolerated, but please do not interfere. Interfere and help the Zoltan ship. You overtake the Zoltan and catch up with the Mantis ship in the asteroid belt. Time to make some friends. I will deal with the boarding party, and I think I'll just do the normal routine of hull lasers, ion blasts, all to the different systems that I don't like. I think we should just prepare ourselves for the boarding. They stunned their own guy. Wow. I didn't know it could do damage through shields. Alright, well. I've lost too many systems. Again, I'd prefer not to have them take some damage, but I kind of need to get everything working again, and quick. I'm not quite sure why they don't automatically recharge the ion shield once it's repaired, or the ion blast once it's repaired. 19 scrap, 3 fuels, alright. So as you're salvaging the Mantis wreck, the Zoltan Security Patrol returns with 3 other ships. You quickly salvage what you can and set off before they can stop you for questioning. Well, we won't set off that quickly. We'll heal up, wait for the FDL to charge, maybe have a coffee. Store with 24 scrap. Something tells me that's not going to work that well. Golden ship patrolling the area hails you. This area is off limits. Security is vital. They power up their weapons. I don't even get an option? Alright, now this is a pain. The combat drone... Well, okay, they don't actually have a lot that can take down my shields. The pike beam's a bit of a concern, but I think I'll just... Actually, the charge might be a little bit better here. Well, no, because the hull laser still does too. I don't have enough to load that up, so I will assume at some point I'll be able to target weapons. So Zoltans are pretty rude, yeah. Okay, well, as long as the beam drone keeps doing that, I'll be happy. Okay, actually it's completely beam centric, so I am okay here. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. So I'm just gonna stop firing these weapons for a minute. I'm gonna look up something on the wiki. So this could actually be a good training ship, just to get up some of the dodge mechanics and things like that. Maybe I will fire the hull laser. So I'm just going to let this idle for a little bit while I check something in the wiki. I want to see whether or not this is going to be a good training ship. If it is, this might get a little bit boring for you, for which I apologize. But just give me a minute and I want to confirm something. Well, I think that kind of answered my question there. Okay. So this is actually okay for me, although I hate the fact that it looks like we just got a new viewer. So welcome to the channel. This is actually going to be used as a training ship. I did need to run out and get something done. I actually have a few minutes before a store that's just up the block from me finishes. So while this training happens, I'm actually going to be running out of the apartment for a minute. I am very sorry to do this to you guys. I was just kind of going to let it run by. But because I would use this to train normally, I am going to push my break a little bit ahead. I will leave you with the fine sounds of Ben Prunty. And I will try to be back as soon as I can, but I think this is this is a run worth training stuff up for, so sorry to do this, but I'll just put a note on and we will, even if I don't finish all the training, I will head back to FTL when I get back, but I think this is a fairly decent opportunity, so. If you prefer me to put on some different music, let me know, but at this point I am going to take advantage of the training and just head out for a minute. Sorry about this, but we'll see you guys in a couple minutes. Alright, really sorry about the delay there, but I got what I needed, so I'll just take a quick look at everybody's training levels, even if they're not all trained up. I will head back and we'll continue our run. Alright, what do we got here? Top piloting, oh my god, okay, so you guys have been waiting for a while. Again, I apologize for that. That is definitely not a regular feature of the stream. But it was something I sort of needed to do, so... Let's get on with the rest of this. Well, I guess we need to kill this guy first, so... before we waste the burst laser, we'll use ion. Doesn't seem like there's a lot of chat activity, so I hope you guys are still on good terms. That's a sound I like to hear. This is one of the things that those points and shields can sort of afford me as well. I can, I mean, number one, it sets me up for a training ship, so all those situations where I needed to take out an engine before it runs away, those will be a little bit easier now. But, oh, let me just take a look here. This is one of my grad... It's one of my referees for grad school applications, so it looks like those are coming in on Wednesday. My other referee actually basically sent me an email. She asked me a couple of other questions, which are just kind of more general economics questions. But her words at the end of the email was basically you should get into your top choices based on the letter. Now, one of my top choices is the school that I'm currently at, which is a very well-respected department in Canada, at least. But she used to be the Dean of Arts at the university, so when she says something like that, that definitely holds some weight. So we'll see, though. I mean, I'm kind of not banking on being at any school until I get an acceptance letter, but I'm certainly doing my best to get in. So okay, so we've got chain burst laser. I think this is the one that gets it speeds up the longer it takes. Yeah, it decreases in cooldown the more it fires. So if I have my choice between a chain laser and a charge laser... 27. I think I'm gonna risk it, actually. Because it also seems to be something that I can get a little more utility out of. I can always switch into the chain laser when I have kind of a long-term battle ahead of me. Not really sure it's a flagship fight weapon. I mean, overall, this is definitely a pretty underpowered ship, but I think I can make this work. But yeah, on the note, I know I was talking about my homework earlier. The the homework that I have to do is basically I'm just looking for something to refine my thesis topic. So rather than reading economics textbooks, which are basically going to tell me what everybody else is thinking about the issues, I'm just going through some issues of foreign affairs, and I already have like a list of all the data that I have. So ideally, looking at something that's maybe not economics related will give me some questions that haven't been answered yet. I know that's what my thesis advisor tends to do. So, but it's not something that I need to, like, it's something I can put off until a little bit later as long as I get enough sleep tonight. So, a Zoltan ship is waiting at this beacon. They request for your identification, but radiation from the sun in the system is disrupting your communications. They take your silence for aggression and move in to attack. Okay, so let's see what this chain laser is made out of. Seems like a dumb idea, actually. Let's go for the shields. The one thing I do wish I'd see more shields. That's kind of my one regret about that training round, but I don't really want to pay for one. Looks like they have a charge laser too, so that's going to be a little bit of a concern. I should go for weapons after I knock down the shields. Actually, I need to take that out right now. Man, this is tough. I still need to go on... Yeah, I still need to go on shields. I just hope the chain laser is enough to take it down, which it is. It's definitely a bit of a conundrum, though, just because if you... Like, if you let that thing go too long, it's going to be able to decimate your shields, and with 2 pike beams, that's basically just going to rip through your hull, and it's GG. That's normally what happens to me after I find a training ship, by the way, is the run ends, and I've effectively wasted everybody's time. But looks like we will survive this encounter, at least. How's it going, Nick? It's definitely a fun game, but if you think my mid is bad in Dota 2, you should see my FTL runs. They're pretty disastrous. Ship explodes, leaving behind a substantial collection of useful scrap material. Missiles aren't useful to me, neither are drones, but the 41 scrap is nice. You think ships to train up is for losers? Well, it allowed me to get something from a store from up the street just before it closed, so... I'm not entirely sure how many people are actually here. I felt bad because somebody had actually just logged into the stream when I ran out to do that. But we've got some of the regulars here. Just need to farm up the scrap, yeah. Alright, so I've lost all of my shields. You spy 2 pirate ships lurking in the nebula here. They remain unaware of your presence. You're able to get your scanners to at least identify their cargo. One is carrying fuel supplies, the other ammunition. They begin to drift away from each other in the storm. Well, I want to secure this fuel supply, but I don't actually have any way of taking out the ship without... like, I can't take the thing intact, so... let's power down... Okay, that's a little extreme. So they have missiles, which blows. Fan of the narration? Thank you. How do we handle this? So I'm not too worried about the individual burst lasers, but the missile's a major concern. So I think we will burst laser... Yeah, actually, so here's how we do this. We ion blast the shields and burst laser the weapon system, and we won't do auto fire. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm just holding off on a second, so ion blast should be able to take down... Oop, what am I doing? Take down the shields, and then we'll follow up with the burst laser just after that's disabled. I don't know if that disabled what I wanted it to, but we'll find out in a second, I suppose. Well, the missile's not... Yeah, so it did take out the missile. And that way we don't lose any of our precious hull. It looks like they're redirecting power to the shields, but should be enough to take it through. Oh, come on, Endors! I had mentioned at the... beginning, I had, so Nick, I should maybe just explain, I had, I took a little bit of a hiatus from the stream just to prepare for the SFU event. So I just basically gave a bit of a recap saying that, and one thing I just mentioned was being a bit tired after casting, and they've since decided to, paint you as the villain. Please do not interpret any of this as me being upset that you were not able to make it. You were very clear about participating in the Global Game Jam. But I have a feeling that chat is probably going to try and get a rise out of you over that, so... And for chat, I will assure you that Nick is a far superior caster than me, and he is extremely gracious for allowing me to ride on his coattails. So please don't make him angry at me. Alright, I just ran out of oxygen. What the hell am I gonna do now? We don't need to worry about the weapon systems anymore. Yeah, so let's take some out of shields, and I guess oxygen is back on the books for these lazy sods. If it's tucked in, that means the power is off. Turn off the engine, yeah. I actually like to... Oh yeah, actually, I guess if I'm not going to be dodging anything, I don't need to keep the engine on, but... we got through it. I will put people in the med bay.